energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off with my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going on track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his.
What is up? You might be shocked to find only my smiling face here on the screen this evening. But fear not, I do have a very special guest tonight. Will and Bryce had some, I think, wedding things to take care of. So I'm not sure who's getting married. Maybe an ape in the metaverse. William, I just got to shout you out, dog. You have been super supportive of Board TV forever. And that freaking mutant you're rocking, chef's freaking kiss. Congrats on joining with the Mutant Ape. We love to freaking see it, my guy. Thanks for being here. If you're just jumping in on X, on YouTube, on Twitch, make sure you give us a follow, subscribe, send it in all your group chats if you're on X, because, I mean, why the heck not? Let's go ahead and talk a lot about Yuga Labs. There's things to dissect, and super excited about the OtherSide Town Hall tomorrow. But before I go any further, I'd like to introduce my special guest, our special guest this evening on Board TV. He has been on here before. He's played Dookie Dash here before. The one, the only, Mr. Squirtle. What is good, my friend?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Man, living the freaking dream. How have you been? I know, obviously, you and I talk a bit, but we've both been busy. Life things, work things, just things in general. So how have things been for you in the Web3 and crypto space here over the last, month or so?
Honestly, been pretty good. I mean, market kind of went on the up and up over the past 2 months or whatever. So
right.
Good vibes, which is nice. Good vibes coming back to like ETH NFTs, which is nice. But yeah, man, working hard. I've been doing a ton of work over at OtherPage. So
yes, big shout out. We love OtherPage, and Squirtle is part of that team, doing amazing things. Loved to see when those avatars went live, the 3D avatars. That was really quick. How I mean, you can speak on this better than I, but Yuga did a good job, I think, of really getting you guys access pretty quick. Is that accurate in saying that?
Yeah, like when we got them out, we were requesting files from people.
Yeah.
Send them right. And all that. And Garga, just being a G, jumped right in the comments and was just like, let's get them all, the 10K files. So
do it now.
It's awesome on their end to do that.
And not surprising. Again, I guess we can kind of talk about this because we haven't, I haven't heard your perspective actually. And there's a lot of different opinions, but I think one that's relatively shared is that Garga coming back has made the vibes in Yuga Labs just feel better. Has nothing to do with floor price. No, floor price kind of went up a little bit, I guess it was like late last week. And now we're back down, whatever. Again, to me, floor price doesn't matter, but just the vibes in general and kind of some of the decisions that he's been leading. What is, as someone that's been a big part of Yuga Labs, I mean, you've been around forever too, and you've kind of seen the ebbs and flows. What is your perspective from that?
I think he's just genuine personality to like the timeline.
Yeah.
As much as like we might shit on Twitter and crypto Twitter and all that. We also look at it every day, and we're all there. And he's just kind of like just going in there, being genuine, and just kind of saying what he thinks, which is refreshing. I think a lot of people were seeing Yuga as like pure corporate, type of stuff. I think like Garga stepping back in kind of brings it back towards like the Web3 centric mindset.
I definitely agree with that wholeheartedly. And I feel like he also is much more comfortable in his skin and in that role too. Like, because obviously this is a new one for him, specifically as CEO. But I think that he's just like, man, he's been here now. He's freaking done this shit. Like, they've been building, they've been shipping for 3 years. Actually, also shout out, happy 3-year mint out freaking Bored Ape Yacht Club today. May 1st is when they officially minted out. But man, looking back in 3 years, the amount of things they've done, if you really zoom out, It's pretty freaking extraordinary. And so I think at first, they were, I'm sure, kind of like, holy shit, what is happening? Everything was going a million miles an hour. And then they brought in, other leadership where they were still involved, but not the voice. And now if he feels to me so comfortable on the timeline, what he responds to, what he posts, the things that he's saying on the timeline, it's just like, to me, it feels very genuine, like you said. And I think it was sorely missing and needed, just because I felt like you kind of didn't hear from the folks that had started this whole thing. And to be frank, yes, the community is what got me completely hooked, but it was also those 4 silly founders at the beginning of this freaking journey where it was like, holy shit, they created, monkey JPEGs and now we're all just vibing and getting dogs and serums and the rest is history. So I think that's well put. He is definitely just his voice. It hasn't even been like, massive decisions. There have been some good ones. There's been some great ones. And one of those also is tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the first official OtherSide Town Hall. And what's super special about that is it is in the actual freaking OtherSide. So let's open it up there. What's up? Welcome, Apes. Thanks for coming through. Welcome, Apes, one of the newish initiatives from some amazing apes to really bring in, people that are joining the club. But with this post and Garga with his pants on, he may be streaking in the other side tomorrow. We will find out tomorrow. Man, what is your thoughts on them testing out this tech, going into OtherSide once again? Obviously, there's going to be some sort of stage setting. Who knows who else will talk? Obviously, Garga will be speaking. And then the other things are kind of like question marks. So like very excited from my perspective. The very quick TLDR from Phil is I'm just excited that we get to go on the other side for something like this, because that's what it feels like OtherSide was going to be anyways, is like when we have discussions, when we want to get together, hey, let's just jump on the other side and have the same discussion that we'd be having on Twitter and in Discord. So what are your thoughts, expectations for tomorrow at 6 p.m. EST?
I think like just first off, it's a cool moment, right? Like I recall back when OtherSide was being talked about and we were doing graveyard shift spaces and we're just like, yeah, like one day we'll hop in the other side and do these spaces and
yes, like
have these meetings and like all that type of stuff, right? Like 2 years, 1 year, 2 years,
2 years,
2 years,
yeah.
It's kind of happening, which is kind of cool. So I'm really curious to see how it goes. I think I honestly just kind of have low expectations on like anything crazy happening during it. I think it's just gonna be like a cool, like, hey, we're here. This is a big moment. Let's talk about what's going on. Yeah. I'm just kind of excited to get in there.
I would agree with that. I don't think it's going to necessarily be anything like earth shattering by any stretch of the imagination. My expectation for it is a bit of an update on kind of this development kit that people are kind of waiting on. Obviously, we have the avatars now, and if you followed along on the timeline, I'm so obsessed with every time Garga tweets or responds to anything, I see it. I think I have notifications on. More than likely, I do. He had mentioned that avatars, that was the first step, and now we got to get people, these creatives, the ODK, so that they can get into the development kit and really start messing around on the other side. I would not be shocked if there's at least maybe a date. Maybe it's not tomorrow, but maybe a date of like, hey, this is something to look forward to. This is upcoming sooner than later, that people can get in there, get into the other side and start building. Because at the end of the day, a successful other side includes and features amazing builders within the community, within other projects that want to come and build cool experiences, whether that be a concert, a space, a comedy show, a game, etc. And then you also have this question mark of what does Yuga create, with the amount of deeds that they have. So I'm excited about that. Number one. Number two, and we'll kind of try to find a tweet or two here. I'm curious to see if there's a little bit of an update on Improbable, because from my perspective and many others, when the leadership was changed in 2023, 2023, it felt like Improbable was almost like an X. It's kind of what it felt like. That's how I would describe it as. They were still there, but we weren't really sure if there was a relationship and what that relationship actually entailed. Whereas before that, it was pretty freaking obvious, because every time we go into the other side, Improbable was there. There was discussions being had. A lot of people that were, in the Yuga Labs ecosystem were jumping around, playing around with the Improbable tech. And it felt like just like a really great partnership. And then that went away for like a year. And so we all kind of sat here, we wondered, and I get the sense just from watching the timeline that they're much more, or maybe in a little bit bigger of the picture, the full picture now, once again. Maybe not what the original plan was, but certainly not what 2023 made it feel like, which was like they were like no longer kind of on the map, which felt really, really freaking odd. And no one said anything. That was the other thing. It was like people would ask questions. People would be like, well, you know, is it improbable? And it was like kind of crickets. I feel like tomorrow that will be a little bit of an update too. I think Herman will be there. I think that they will talk maybe a little bit. They're not going to air dirty laundry. That's not it at all. But kind of have an idea of like, this is what, you know, Improbable brings, and this is how this, you know, team is going to be created, basically, this partnership. So, and on that note, there were 3 Bored Apes bought from what people thought was potentially a Yuga Labs wallet, but it was not a Yuga Labs wallet. Guard came out on the timeline. If I can find it, I will. He said that is not us. That was a partner. If I can find it, I'll pull it up. Here we go. He said it wasn't us. A partner bought those. I should probably not show this. Okay, cool. I had people muted that were like on the comment section. Anywho, so the reason I say that is some other people did some digging, and it felt like those apes were going to Improbable, that's who bought them. Which, if that's the case, and then, you know, we go tomorrow and we go to the OtherSide Town Hall. If Herman and some other team were there, that would make sense if they showed up in these apes that they just acquired. And then maybe there's a little bit of information that says, hey, we were broken up, we're back together, not a full marriage, but some sort of love triangle or something. I don't know. So
like they've been going through so much, right? Like you got the all the stuff that's been going on. Like stuff is going to get shuffled, and hopefully, like, you know, it seems like they've really dialed in on what they want to do. So
yes, wherever
that path is, I'm down for it.
I am as well. And I think the community, at the end of the day, it's more about just some clarity, like kind of understanding where everybody is fitting on this path of success of OtherSide. It's not that one team's better than the other. It's simply just like, hey, can we get a little bit of clarity, which I think is due as well. Like I would be I'm a Yuga Maxi. People know that. They watch my timeline. I freaking love. I still, no matter what I say tonight, I love them dearly, all forever and ever and ever. But even I would say, dude, an updated Litepaper, can we get that ASAP? Please. Please let us know a little bit of something.
But it does seem like their major thing right now is like just getting 3D assets out there, right?
Agreed.
Like there's mutants, there's Kodas, there's Moonbirds. Didn't they said stuff about like 3D Moonbirds? Right?
Yeah, and we'll go into that too tonight. Yeah. No, I would agree with that. It was like the models, it seems like Kodas are close-ish. Mutants may be a little bit further out. And I would agree with that for sure. And I think that's like the way I look at it is OtherSide is such a massive undertaking, probably even larger than maxis like myself realized way back when we started minting. And I think that's a fair statement to say now. And so what I look at this is they've got obviously the 3D creation team that are fucking killing it. The freaking apes look amazing. And then you've got to have, maybe this is like an Eric Reed thing and a Garga thing and maybe a Gordon thing where, hey, what are we, like, what is our kind of larger vision? And it doesn't mean you're going to lay everything out, but something to say, yeah, you know, those resources and artifacts that you purchased, they actually still do matter, because people are starting to sort of question that, not in a negative sense. It's not going to FUD the timeline yet, but I think just some information of like, yes, there's still plans for this, even if that's all that was said. And then there was like a very like slight update to the Litepaper. I think people would be satisfied with that, honestly. But like at some point, that's the weird thing about Web3 though, too, because at some point you have these people that get way more information and are in conversations that they would never be a part of in Web2, which is cool. But it's a catch-22, because when they're in those conversations, at some point they get a little bit restless, even for a little bit of drip of information. So I'm hoping that there's just a little bit of or again, maybe a date of, hey, we have an updated Litepaper coming, and it's going to happen in XYZ, June. I don't care, whenever, but at least give us some sort of target that's like, here's an update to what we've all been kind of waiting for. And that doesn't mean OtherSide would open in June. It would just simply mean, hey, now you can go about and look and see, do I want to, acquire some more deeds? Have things changed? That's the other thing. Like maybe some things have changed. Probably. Like, let's just be real, right? Like they have this large vision. I think it's amazing and creative. And the whole thing is to get people into the other side and create amazing experiences. That's still at the end of the day going to be the thing. But I'm really hoping, and I do believe, and they've kind of said as much, that they're still going to have this like larger experience that Yuga is creating. Whatever that game looks like or whatever that thing is, not sure. But some sort of crumbs that way, I think, would probably put a lot of people at ease a little bit, just because I feel that edge still when they talk about OtherSide. Bored Ape and Mutant Apes, they feel very vibey right now, right? Because like there's a clear direction, right? They sold off Heavy Metal and Maras, and I think Far Away is gonna freaking kill that shit. Like I have like no doubt that they're gonna be amazing. They have Moonbirds, and they've also made that announcement. We'll talk about that a little bit, where they've changed the art and they're not taking back CCO, but basically the best case scenario in my opinion. And then they also say, hey, Bored Ape and Mutant Ape, this is a social membership club. We got collabs, we got Ape Fest, we got merch, and we got Clubhouse. And sometimes that Clubhouse is digital, and then eventually we'll have this physical location. I think they're much more like clear, and OtherSide needs some clarity. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so. And like, from talking to me over the years, like I've always been more sympathetic and like optimistic towards pivoting with projects and all that. Like a project saying we're going to do this, and then they get a year in, they're like, well, maybe we could do this instead. Like we went through like a year of just pitch decks. It's kind of how I look at it, as like new NFT projects coming out. Like they were all just like pitch decks to people being like, hey, we're going to do cool things. And people bought the pitch decks, and usually when companies form, they take years and years and years to figure out where they fit in all of this. We're starting to see like major NFT projects kind of find their way, like this year and a little bit before. And yeah, like if a company needs to just be like, hey, we don't want to do this anymore, we need to do this now, and it means letting go of XYZ and adopting into another thing, like I have no problem with that at all. I think it's proactive and healthy. So
that's better than sitting around and doing nothing, though you realize that it's not working, right? Like I think that's where you are extremely sympathetic, and that's a positive trait, one of your best traits, because you realize what it takes to do all this crazy shit that people are attempting to do. And I would just say that I think I'm level-headed, where I sit back and I just realize, like, hey, if they're making this decision, it's not on a fucking whim. They didn't just like wake up today, had a bad, cup of coffee and decided, you know what, we need to pivot all of these things. Like these are obviously very thoughtful conversations with many team members, and then making the best decision for the company and also eventually the holders too. You're going to see that. And so I truly still believe that to this day. And I think that's been much more clear since, Garga took over, I guess like about 2 months ago. So very excited about that. I want to jump into talking about clarity, talking about vision. And it is a Yuga Labs project, which I cannot believe. I'll be very transparent. When Moonbirds first minted, I was so fucking out on Moonbirds. Squirtle can tell you this. I used to rag on Moonbirds because I'm going to be very transparent here. I didn't believe in Kevin Rose. He is gone. Moonbirds are now a Yuga Labs project. It's really fucking wild to me, to be honest, because again, I think back to when they minted and all these things. I really enjoyed actually. And I have no Moonbirds. I have nothing Moonbird related currently. I actually really liked their announcement. So before we dive into it, Squirtle, what was your just quick, TLDR of the Moonbirds update to their vision?
I mean, first off, I think it is kind of wild looking at the Moonbirds title username up there with the Yuga badge right next to it. Yeah. Who would have thought? Like I think them just kind of building out that universe is really cool. They're going to fit into what they're building with like Moonbirds being able to go all like 3D and stuff like that in the other side. The move to go away from CCO, I think aligns with what Yuga does with their assets that they own. I I don't know. I'm just kind of like in the sit back and watch it mode.
Right.
I've always enjoyed Moonbirds, actually. I have the fanny pack that I got from their event. I still wear it around. And when I go to events, it's like a nice little joke. But
now it's not so much of a joke. Right? Like,
it's a better joke now.
It's sort of a joke now.
Yeah, it's a good topic. Yeah, no, like I just kind of want to see what they turn into. Like I've always liked their pixel art. Yeah, I'm just kind of sitting back and watching.
Again, the way that I described it, and ourselves, we're in a group chat with Don't Feed. We've been friends really for this entire journey of Web3 starting in 2021, and we're just dear friends. But man, we just kind of talked about it. I was like, I just felt like it was best case scenario, like looking for a little bit of a pivot or a direction, a new direction, a clear direction. To me, it felt very clear, and it made me instantly, and we talked about this, like I kind of want a Moonbird now, which I would have like, dude, had you told me that at any point 2022, 23, I would have said you were crazy. And it made me think and I started looking at the collection. Like, I'll be honest, I started looking at the collection. So let's dive in a little bit. We'll break it down. First post here, you're going to need a character that you own. Starting today, Moonbirds will join Mythics as a collection with commercial rights. If you've made stuff during the CC0 era, cool. But from now on, you'll need to own a Moonbird to keep doing so, which is great. Of course, they're not going to go back and try to take down CCO stuff. That would be idiotic. And by the way, I also love their art. Every time they've created, and this is even before you get to go over, I feel like their team of creation, and I think they use, what's the freaking animation studio that Doodles owns? Something Wolf.
Oh, I forget. Yeah.
I think they're the ones that did this, and they're like obviously A+. And then you've got this, and they had this tiny little snippet, and I'll play it here in just a second. I got to get the volume queued up. And this is the type of shit that I want you to do for all the collections. Side note, we've been talking about it for like months. But it said the creative development of this new direction will be led by Colin Hesterly, award-winning artist and director, and one of the creative minds behind Mythic. So before we go any further, let's play this little clip. Hey, Yuga, if you're listening, and I know, listen, I know you guys do, because sometimes I'll get a random screenshot of my face, like where you guys like pause the video.
We've seen some Yuga people in the chat.
Yo, Yuga, we know you're here. This type of stuff, oh my gosh. Yes, we like this content. We love this content. So let's watch this little quick clip, I should say. I can't even talk, of Colin and this new direction of Moonbirds.
It's been almost a year since we last emerged from the darkness. The world seems different now, and nothing is the same. But the time has come for us to rise up and ascend into the light. Just like my old coach, Gordon Bombay, used to say, ducks fly together, but not ducks, owls, JPEGs, Moonbirds. How do you do this and not f it up for a bunch of people? You got asked me and the team to do this. Like, I am doing a job, but I can't make decisions that aren't something that I don't believe in and I didn't put myself into it. Do you want a couple of like where I'm talking to you and then I look over to you and then I look back to you?
Well, you're already doing it. You're doing it right now.
God damn it.
There is a comment in there that is so real. How do I do this and not fuck it up for a bunch of people? Do you know how many teams have sat there in meetings just looking at each other and just being like, how do we just not mess this up? How?
Literally.
like the whole building process is it's a thing.
It is, and that's so true. But this is the content, like this type of stuff, because what it instantly does, I feel like I know Colin a little bit more from a fucking 1 minute teaser trailer of something they're gonna put out.
Look what it did for Azuki. Like,
dude.
They put out a ton of these, right?
Yes.
And people have gotten much more in touch with like all the people that work there and all that type of stuff.
Agreed, because again, at the end of the day, we spend so much time on X, on Discord, on these places that you don't actually see the human face a lot of the time. You might hear their voice on a stream, but a lot of times they're being asked questions. They're not like letting you just see them like in their environment. So I'm telling you, Yuga, if you do some of this, like as OtherSide's being built out and you have this type of just fun ass content where you're showing how and again, you're not giving anything away. I've said this multiple times on the show. It reminds me of like Hard Knocks with the NFL, where they're not showing you the playbook. It's not like the other teams are going to scout Hard Knocks and be able to beat you because, you know, they shared something. Obviously the episodes air after they play the teams. And again, they're not showing the entire playbook. Yo, you don't have to show me any of the playbook. Just show me some of this, like the art. And again, him working on the art and all, dude, to me, and it's so well done too. This is a fucking teaser and it looks so freaking good. And so just like Moonbird's creative team, yo, this right here, please bring it to all Yuga things because, man, I'm dying for it. And then we can continue on. And this also made me bullish. Moonbirds are going to be more than just a pixel JPEG as we transform the brand. We'll be introducing a new art direction and 3D avatars built on 4 animation, OtherSide and beyond. We knew that Moonbirds would be living on OtherSide. And to me, I was also thinking, how the hell are they going to do this with pixels, right? Like at the end of the day, I was like, I'm curious to see how this works. This new art that's very clean, this makes a ton of sense for 3D avatars, for animation, for things that people want to do with their IP rights now. What was your thought when you saw this little, I guess, preview of some of the art here?
My first thought was, let's get it another page. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, like
Need
it's I like it. I think it's gonna be really cool to see these little owls running around.
Yes.
I think that's gonna be like one of those moments where people are like in the other side and they just see an owl like walk on by and they're just like, what in the world? Oh, it's a moonbird. Yeah, I like it. I think it's like cute. It is kind of nice. Like it has a nice aesthetic. I'm all about it.
I agree completely. Like it's really well done and it is cute. And so you look for some of that cute meta. I think Yuga has that now with, you know, with Kodas as well. But I would say these Moonbirds look really, really fire. Then we're building a place where you can take that character, a place Moonbirds can call home. This will be a new digital space for Moonbirds to connect and immerse themselves in the world of Valaria. Again, this looks freaking dope.
Yeah, I'm curious on that. Just kind of like if there's a relation to the other side.
I think so.
Yeah.
I would guess so. I would say that there maybe at first it's a place where you can go and connect and maybe you learn. I listened to one of the spaces and I'll be honest, I was doing some other things, so I wasn't completely tuned in. But they were talking about like this lore Bible where people need to know like what are Moonbirds about and what is the like kind of overarching theme. And those of us that have been in Bored Apes have been, I mean, to be honest, we've been wanting the same thing. Like please have the main story, and then at least when we know the main story, we can kind of have our own offshoots if we choose to do so. And Colin talked about that. So I wonder if that's what it starts as, is like this place where you can read some stories, you can gather, you can maybe create your own lore, etc. And then I think 100% they're going to build Valaria and OtherSide. Like that's got to happen 100%.
Yeah.
Then you've got, but the Moonbirds universe doesn't stop at the screen. In real life and physicals will bring the brand to life. Look out for dedicated events to bring Moonbirds together. And of course, they're going to be in Lisbon at ApeFest 2024 this October. We're also working on partnerships for Moonbird physical collectibles. Take flight with us on the next adventure into the Moonbirds universe. And I wish, and this is the space that I listened to. If I can find it, and I'll look here in just a second. They had some more art reveal, and it looked really really good. And so again, overall, to me, very excited to see, you know, where they're headed. Again, I think it's best case scenario 100%. And I like the idea of going into the physical realm, do in real life collectibles. Like those are things that have worked. You know, you've seen Cool Cuts has too. They did the painted ones. I saw them all over the freaking timeline. That's what's on my mind. Also Pudgies. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the Macy's Day, like those were freaking dope to me. And then they had the painted version. And then of course Pudgies, like they've been all over the freaking dude. And I've got some over my head somewhere. They're probably following me. And so like
I would get my daughters like a Moonbird plushie. 100%.
Dude, for sure. So I'm excited to see that they do want to do that because it's worked. Like we've seen that work. I think that's definitely how you create character. You want to create that connection. And we'll talk a little bit about Azuki here because they did exactly that with their anime. But look at this fucking art, dude.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's dope. Like glitch.
That looks freaking awesome, dude.
I love it. Yeah.
And then you got Clean, of course.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen any of these actually.
And then this is the last one. So again, to me, makes a ton of sense. And again, the glitch one to me is like, damn, I wish I had a glitch because that looks freaking awesome.
It's a good question from G. Do people want Moonbirds as bigger than apes on the other side? Be dope if they could be epic mounts or paired with apes.
Oh, you like ride them MFers? Man, in my mind, I think of them as smaller.
Same.
right?
Like when I said that sentence earlier, like, oh, a moonbird like walks by.
Yeah,
Like I in my mind, I'm literally thinking of like little like bird. I don't know.
yeah, like a typical
Half,
owl, right?
like
Right?
half the
Kinda like,
size of an ape or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that would be wild if you could make them this big that you're
Dude, if
flying.
they were
with
that
Disneyland.
would be really cool. Yeah.
Everyone's buying moonbirds just so they can fly around the other side a little bit faster. That's going to be the alpha.
People
That's
buy
a good
mounts.
question.
They
Yeah,
really
that's
do.
right. That's right. So again, I really do like the art that they've shared so far, and I gotta keep my eye on the moonbirds. I was talking to you guys last night. I gotta find some ETH and a couch cushion because I got like 3 things that I just need to purchase before. Well, just at some point. Like at some point, not, and it'd be just a hold. Like it'd be something I just want to keep and have, be a part of those communities. And one of those is definitely moonbirds now. So hats off to the Yuga Labs team. Hats off. Also, I just want to say to the Proof team, obviously a transition period is never like easy or fun. It can have bumps along the way. And so joining a new team, having no clue, like obviously I know who Yuga was, but they hadn't worked with them. And what I've heard thus far, and again, from that space and some other conversations of that, it's just gone really swimmingly. So I love that because to me, you bring like your superpower, if you will, and you put them together with this Yuga Labs team. And you're telling me there won't be crossover? Like, duh. When Moonbirds does something dope, like these videos, and like, I've heard they do a really good job with in real life events as well. And so does Yuga. But man, when you start cross collaborating on things that you do well from teams, that's when you have that superpower. So I would just say, again, hats off to Moonbirds. I would love to know if somebody's watching, listening, even on repeat, if you're in the Moonbirds community, did you feel good about this? Again, I'm saying this as someone that has zero exposure, but I thought it was a great announcement, and I thought the space that they held afterwards was actually, it was just like a double down on how I felt about it. But I'd be curious because there's no guarantee that people loved it. So would be dope if they were on your shoulder, dude, for real, dude. And they can like pick your ass up and just fly you around.
It's like get bigger in mount mode.
Yeah. Yes, dude.
Yep. Dude, gee, I was thinking of exactly that, like epic flying mounts. Yeah.
Dude, that would be actually amazing. That would be amazing. You, if you're listening, we've got ideas here. We have got ideas. Some of them might be idiotic, but we've got a lot of them. The next thing that I wanted to mention, if I can get to it, is on Friday. We have so many of these like spaces and updates to things, which we love. People have been talking about when update. Well, you can bet your ass you're gonna get a lot of updates here. Obviously this week, and more specifically the next 2 days. Fairway, far away. Jesus. I say Fairway because there was a grocery store in my hometown that was literally called Fairway without the A in between. So now that I just look at it and I'm
in the brain.
Fairway, it's the grocery store. So let me pull this up. There is obviously the OtherSide Town Hall tomorrow. And then if you haven't had enough of amazing information, guess what? You're going to get more because the team at Faraway is doing a sweet community update with heavy metals and Legends of the Mara this Friday, right on Spaces. You got the whole Faraway team, which is dope. Alex, Spencer. I don't know OX Dens. Maybe I do. I don't know their first name off the top of my head. And then, of course, the GOAT, Mr. Nana. What's good? Doing the co-host. We got speakers Dim, Squiddy. I mean, these are all amazing people. I know, again, the only one I'm not sure of is Dens. I follow them. Co-founder. Okay, cool. Co-founder. Another co-founder of Faraway. That makes sense. That right there is a freaking baller ass round table of people. And so I would love your perspective here too.
I'm excited.
What was your thoughts? Let's back up to when it was announced that Yuga was selling these 2 projects, Heavy Metal and Legends of the Mara, to Faraway. What was your initial response?
I wanted more info. Like, those assets have been tied to Yuga for a long time and talked about being attached to the other side for a long time. When I read the announcement, it did state a lot of just kind of like, hey, like the teams are gonna be working very close together.
Yeah.
And I believe that. Like, I think I think teams will be talking directly in between each other. A lot of teams do that in this space. Like, there's a lot of chats going on in between teams and people collaborating and figuring out how they can help out each other. That's a very real thing. So, I don't think it's like a bad thing at all that now there's this like dedicated like gaming company building out all this stuff. So yeah, I think the gameplay will get better for heavies too, which is fun.
Agreed.
So yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that. I know there was, a number of people on the timeline that maybe had heavily invested in any of those things. Maybe Maros, maybe probably heavy metal, but something. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it was a Yuga project, right? It was a Yuga product, and that was their belief that would always be that. But what I would just say is like, man, gee, I am too. I'm bullish on Faraway. I'm bullish on what they can do. Just because what Squirrel just mentioned, man, they are literally a dedicated, like I think over 100-person gaming team. Like this is what they do. Like this is what they do. Not that Yuga doesn't have people that can do some of this, but you have a dedicated team now, and you bet your ass they're gonna want it to be freaking dope because now it's theirs, right? They're gonna want heavy metal to be amazing. They're gonna want Legends of the Mara to be freaking fun and dope. And also, I played the updated version of Dookie Dash, and guess what? It was fucking better than the original. Like,
yeah, it was fun.
Substantially better than the original one. And so I would just say, give them some time to cook. I understand what could be some frustration. I understand what could be some hesitancy. I get that completely because, people have big bags as a Yuga asset. I just think, I truly believe, these are still going to be in the other side. I swear Gargus said that somewhere. Like, they're still going to be like heavy metal. You're going to see them MFers in the other side. You're going to see Mara's freaking dance around the other. Like, these things are still going to happen. And now you got a team dedicated to make the gaming experiences the day-to-day game, right? The one that you want to jump on when you got 10 minutes at lunchtime or 5 minutes on the shitter to, jump on Dookie Dash, jump on heavy metal, whatever that looks like, jump on Legends of the Mara and tap in. You got the team that is going to make sure that you want to, spend those extra 10, 15 minutes on that game.
I think you're only allowed to play Dookie Dash on the shitter, by the way.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's kind of in the name. So if you actually can only play it on the shitter, you can't play anyway. I'm be shitting a lot when it comes out, apparently. I'm gonna be shitting all the time. G for sure. Show me MFer. Faraway got the goods. Yeah, agreed. Like,
and
again,
also, I think like what a lot of people like might overlook is that like if Faraway like kills it, right, and a game becomes incredibly popular, all these assets are associated. Like, everyone's going to think about them associated with Yuga. Like, they're going to think of them as Yuga.
Yeah.
For a long time. And if new people come in, they don't know it's a part of Yuga. That's cool. There's going to be apes and mutants and all this type of stuff, Codas, all within these games anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just a win-win for everybody.
I agree completely. And again, like, I mean, the thing is, it's still a partnership. You said at the very beginning, they're still working together. This isn't like, oh, Deuces heavy metal, see you never. Like, Garga and Yuga wants this to be really good. Like, I can guarantee that, because guess what? The art that they created for this and the vision that they had at the beginning, you think that just like went out the fucking window and they said, oh, whatever, Deuces? No. Like, the art looks freaking amazing. I can't wait for this season of Legends of the Mara to end, and I want to talk about it briefly now, because I got some catalysts that I need to fucking get out.
Dude,
like,
I haven't gotten one catalyst yet, bro, which is wild.
That is that's absurdly wild, actually. I think I have like 2, which is not like, again, it's not like I have 50. This is, shout out to Will. This MFer's got such a collection of everything. For me, I think I have 2 or maybe 3 max, but I'm also in the top 400 or whatever, where I would get 2 more. And so I'm like, I'm just ready for the season to end, just because, man, the art on these freaking Kodamaras looks awesome. So freaking good.
Yep.
And so again, it goes back to, do you really think that you guys are going to hope that fails or not like help in any way that it can? Come on. Like, that's just idiotic. That's just so stupid. And so again, I'm bullish on Faraway. I'm bullish on that whole team and hearing more from them. I feel like you're going to get a lot of information on Friday. You talk about information. We've all been talking about information. The next 2 days, the next 48 hours, we should come away feeling at least better. Like, we're going to have some information, maybe not even better, but you'll have information that you can make a decision if that sways however you feel. I'm bullish on what we got going. And again, I can't wait to see what they do with heavy metals.
I mean, look, I'm throwing other page link in the private chat here, but it's of a Kodamara. Like the thing is insane. It's Geared Apes Unsung's Kodamara.
Oh yeah, I'll pull it up right now. It is freaking ridiculous. I saw when he did that, and I was like, "Damn, son." So again, like I will not have one that looks this fucking OP, but nonetheless, you know. And again, shout out to other page. It just looks so fucking good. So again, I want to be able to set up another page when I can eat this damn catalyst. So like I'm just like I feel like a crackhead just waiting to get these catalysts. And I didn't know. Like I thought once I had them, you know, it was like dope. I can fucking, you know, mint it. And Will is like, you gotta wait to the end of the season. I'm like, no, this is like a week ago or something. It was right. Actually, it was right when Kodamara's went live. He's like, oh, I have one. Sweet, let's go. He's
but
like,
also
nope.
like look at Magic Eden with like the catalyst and the Kodamaras and all that. Like that was just, it was a 0.2 ETH, just like right there, dropped in people's laps as well.
I know.
Like I don't know,
Which is crazy.
Like, things are fine. Things are
good. back off the ledge a couple times, you know, just back off the ledge. Zoom out. I like to say zoom out because at the end of the day, if we just zoom out, and this is about all the projects that are actually, you know, here to build, which there's not a ton of them, I'll be honest, that are large, but the ones that are here and doing cool things, just zoom out and realize all the shit they've accomplished in the matter of 3 years or less. Like that's completely insane. And so I'm definitely freaking it, dude. Badges though, for real, bro. Can we Bored Ape, you
hey, just go back to OP. We got badges. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know that I want more badges, dude. I want all the fucking badges because to me, I just think it's a cool nod to the collector and all of us because at the end of the day, I mean, that's why I stayed around, honestly. Like, of course I wanted to make some money, but what kept me like really in this is the collecting aspect. And I think they definitely do that, dude.
Don't worry, we're cooking on badges. We got some stuff up our sleeves.
We freaking love the badges, 100%. Other pages dank, other page so nice, dude.
100%. The plug worked.
We agree. We're always plugging other page. We love other page. Honestly, if you haven't yet, dude, hit Squirtle, hit me, Nana, anyone from the team. Just hit them up if you got questions, or just try it out. Just simply try it out. It's very easy to use. It looks fucking clean. You get to use some of your creative juices to pick, you know, what assets you want to show off. You can put a name. I mean, there's a million things you can do.
Search other avatars that are verified. It's
if you haven't done it, it's like, why not? Take a freaking ride on the wild side for real.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, could not agree more. I don't know why we're talking about this. I wonder who works for other page. So, you know, I do want to talk just briefly because we are getting almost to the top of the hour. It's gone fast. Talking about just teams building. And obviously this is a Yuga Labs Bored Ape specific and centric space. But we also talk about other projects doing dope things because we like to give flowers. We think it's cool. I know this is crazy. We actually think it's cool to give flowers to other projects that we don't actually own.
Oh, we uplift other
projects. I know. It's freaking absurd. Apparently it was something that was in my lemonade earlier. But no, I just wanted, and again, I'm going to throw this to you for the alley-oop. I'm going to be Kobe. You can be Shaq. Azuki, talk to me about your and I watched it too. And I'll be honest, I the only reason I started watching some anime is because freaking these two jokers scroll and don't feed are talking about anime. So I've actually dabbled in some, you know, that have been some recommendations, and it's been great. I've appreciated that. What was your thought of the first ever Azuki anime? The little, was it 7-8 minutes long?
Yeah, it was like of actual story. I think it was like 5 or 6.
Yeah. Because they had obviously the amazing credits at the end. So what was your overall sentiment and thoughts on that first episode?
I think they blew it out of the water with the aesthetics, like the visual look of the anime. Like it's gorgeous. Like it's a lo-fi vibe of just, I don't know. It's awesome to look at. They brought in some absolute like legends for producing. The voice acting is like really, really good.
Agreed.
And yeah, like I think the story is actually like a really interesting parallel. I hold a bunch of Azuki, so this is a little bit of bias in my talking here, but like I think there's like a really awesome parallel between like Web3 and like what they were talking about, like take the red bean and don't just go with like whatever the machine is telling you to do, right? Like if you haven't watched it, go watch it and look for the parallels with like crypto native things. It's in there the whole way. And yeah, like I think it's really awesome that doing the Zora open edition mints, and then all the proceeds go to the production companies as
Agreed.
like hey, all you Web2 world, people outside of crypto, production company people, like look at the income that's coming in from just people enjoying content that you put out. And it's not through like the traditional like system of like contracts with production companies and all that type of stuff. Like I think it's a really awesome start, and I hope this sparks a lot of interest within the anime world to keep building out this type of stuff.
Agreed. I love this, the custom viewing experience for episode 1.
It's really cool when you go to the site too, when you view that thing. Like there's little Easter eggs in there. People's Azukis are making cameos in the video, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That's what this stuff is about. Like we own things
sure.
that we want displayed.
It is. No, 100%. That's the whole point, is like real great teams are going to make those connections to their collectors and say, hey, we appreciate you and we see what you're doing, and let's like obviously add that in. So did I see Machi buy Azuki today? I'll can be honest with you, I did not follow the marketplace too much today, so I would have missed it if he did. But I would just say again, someone that owns 0 Azuki assets, I thought it was dope. And again, I'm no fucking expert of anime, not even close. I thought it was good. I thought it was enjoyable. I thought the storyline was simple, but that's what it needed to be anyways. Simple and to the point, but fun. Like wanted you to come back and like you wanted more of it. It would suck if like someone like me that knows nothing is like, oh, whatever. Like, okay, 5 minutes out. No, at the end of it, you're like, okay, what's next? Like you want to know more of the story. So like to me, that just tells you right away that like they obviously did something right. So
it's just a side story too. Like like there's gonna be renditions. That's the whole point of like how they're doing this release. The next episode will be different style, all that type of stuff.
Anthology, dude, for sure.
Yep.
No, we love it. We love it. And then the last thing that I'm gonna end the show, and we'll talk a little bit again, just wrap up our final thoughts. Man, talk about 3D assets and avatars. Putting these into the wild has been one of the best things that's happened to the club ever. And it's such a simple thing, because what you're doing is you're allowing creatives that already know what they're doing to do amazing pieces. But then you're also allowing people that have never done stuff before to do things like this and create their ape dancing. And that instantly, I can promise you, if you start messing around with your ape and the 3D avatar, what happens? You want to keep it more. You become even more of a collector because it becomes more personal. Then Rita, of course, like, dude, this is stupid. Like, God, so good. All these different apes. I was hoping to see a pink fur with a halo in there, but maybe next one. But I love this. Like, these are the types of things that, to me, just bullish as all get out. This one's hilarious too. It's like he's showing his ass. So all these little things, like this is some of the simple things that can really make community feel more tied, even more tight and tied.
That's really cool.
Than before. I agree.
Yeah.
So it's just like all of this is just like dope. And so again, a simple thing at the end of the day, maybe not, well, obviously not making the avatars. Oh, I like this one a lot. Not making the avatars was not simple, but the fact that a simple thing of giving people the access to these files and people creating amazing things, that has made everything feel just a little bit better. So again, shout out to those of you blessing the freaking timeline, because honestly, it makes my day better every single time I see something dope. Just because it's fire every single time. I'm
looking at Gratefuls right now in 3D. His is really funny in 3D too. There's so many like just like cool, like these really talented animators within the community, which is really awesome to see.
It is, and that's where again we go back to. I would love it if we had at least a date of when that development kit is available to those creatives, because like you just said it. There's so many people that are just like stupid talented. Hey, let them get into the other side and start creating like worlds, experiences, buildings, whatever it is, right? Like experiences. At the end of the day, let them go create some experience, and then let's go fuck around and find out. Let's test it out. Let's break shit. That's what they should be doing, is just breaking shit and making iterations that are better. So, man, last thoughts before we wrap up the show tonight. Good sir, Mr. Squirtle.
Let's just keep on having some fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of my thing the entire time in crypto is like, I just want to build some cool stuff. Let's have some fun. Let's not yell at each other.
And
it's
too much. Yeah. Sorry. We must yell at each other all the time.
Yeah, no, like the shit's fun. Like, go play on some layer 2s. There's some awesome stuff going on over there. Ape Chain is coming.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot going on. Like people are preparing for it and all that type of stuff. And I did I see like people at Yuga like talking about Ape Chain a little bit, or was that
a little bit? Garga mentioned, or maybe had a response on it, and basically that he was excited to see what is built there. Again, at the end of that's more than they had said ever before.
Yeah.
So like at the end of the day, we should be happy for literally them at least breathing still when Ape Chain is mentioned. So we freaking love it. If you truly believe in far away, you buy as many Mars for 0.3. Hold. Here's what a little secret about your boy Phil. I am very high in vibes. I got all of them. I'm so deep in vibes, but ETH, my bag is almost zero. I got nothing. Like, I'm just holding, and I'm okay with that, by the way. It's not a complaint. I feel good in my conviction of what I'm holding at the moment. Now, would I like to make a play or two here or there in the next 6 months? Yeah, hopefully. I'd like to get, I'll just say it, I want to have some exposure to Azuki. I want to have a fucking Moonbird now. And the one that I've been looking at the most, and you know this because I've said this shit like at least 1 million times, the freaking Forgotten Runes Wizards.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to them
over there
because
absolutely
I love what they're doing too. So, and I'm sure there's other things, but those three are at the top of my list right now, where I want to have all three of those at some point. I'm just trying to figure it out. Hold, but I do believe in Far Away. I really do. And we'll just have to see. It's a wait and see thing. Let's see what they have cooking. I'm excited to see, Sean, Nana, of course, hosting that amazing conversation on Friday. But before we even get there, don't forget, if you're going to try to attend and you have one of the Yuga assets, or your that by the way, that includes other deeds. If you have a deed, make sure, PSA from Board TV to your ears, make sure that you sign up for your username, your account, I should say, on OtherSide. Do that tonight. Do that before 6 p.m. EST tomorrow, because otherwise you don't want to miss out because you didn't already set up that. And you might have, had you done the last trip. I think you had to do that already, or a lot of people did. But just check it out. Check out OtherSide's pinned tweet, I believe, and do that tonight, because like it takes you 5 seconds. It's really freaking simple to do, and it will cause you much less headache than waiting to the last freaking moment, like so many of us degens do. And then we get there and we're like, oh my God, I couldn't get in. What happened? Yeah, it's the OtherSide pin tweet. You can just check out the Happy Anniversary Voyagers. It's launched.otherside.xyz. Check that out. Set up your account and be ready to freaking rock and roll in the other.
And they're including heavies. And
yes,
Gary was saying like, yeah, people might not get in with us including heavies, but it'll be, people will record it or stream it. Or
100%. There is a chance. PSA at number 2. There's a chance that you do not get in there. Do not go and FUD the fucking timeline and dump all your assets, for Christ's sake. Yes, this should be an awesome experience for those that can get in. But even if you can't, it will be recorded. I promise you, someone will be streaming it. Guaranteed, these things will be happening. Take a deep breath, chill out, and as Squirtle said, have fun. I just want to say a big thank you to Squirtle for coming through. Again, probably my best friend, him and Don't Feed in the space, because I've known him for freaking ever. I feel like I've known him from at least 69 years. It's been 3, but it feels like 69. I'm going to FUD only my bags. Yeah, we're only FUDing our own bags. That's the new rule. If you want to FUD, you can only FUD your own shit. Don't talk about anybody else's stuff. But with that, again, thank you, Squirrel. Thank you for being here. I'm sure we'll have you back on once Dookie Dash goes live, so we can do some late night dashing live on Board TV. So again, this was Phil. This was Squirtle. This was Board TV. We out. Stay bored.
I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, Finnish friends on my face.